welcome to the channel, and today we will be talking about the DUNU Kima. And this is a kind of interesting little IM. I'm not sure the trend of the anime made thing. It's not really my thing. No judge, to each their own. But anyhow, that's on the box. That's the thing. The other thing on here is it has this thing called Kriz Faction, which I'm assuming has to do with the anime deal, but I have no idea what that means or what that has to do. The IEMs themselves are pretty nice. They're a nice little silver kind of magnesium look to them, and we'll dive into that here in a little bit. These were sent out by DUNU, so they are not asking me to say or do anything other than my honest opinion regarding these IEMs and their anime thing. So yeah, let's dive right into what that's all about. All right, the Kima. Do a quick unbox and my thoughts and opinions regarding the lovely Kima from DUNU. So slicing into this packaging and gonna kind of go through all the different parts that are in here and kind of talk about the build and the aesthetics and what it comes with. So plastic off, we have the general cardboard package box kind of deal, and it's DUNU, and also got to have that high-res audio. So one thing I really like is the DUNU embossed on the kind of cardboard. It looks really cool. I don't know, just a weird unboxed thing. It's kind of nice. And also inside the package, like that display is really nice. I really dig on that. And then the little package here, this little carry case is really solid. I really dig on the kind of color of the orange with the white speckle kind of look. And then it has that nice aluminum, I'm assuming, or some kind of metal thing that's right there on the front. And then the zipper's real solid. And then diving into it, you get, your normal, IEM tips, your adapters, your cleaning little brush and what have you, and then also a lovely cleaning cloth, which is nice. And then it has everything else in there, which would be your little extra storage spot with a QC card, that kind of deal. But that's basically the little carry case. And then diving into the IEMs themselves, they are really nice. I actually really dig on the aesthetic of these. It has a nice kind of polygon kind of look aesthetic going on with them, and then they're just really clean looking. They have this nice silver magnesium look with a kind of gold nozzle. The nozzle's pretty nice. It's not overly wide, but it's decently wide nozzles for sure, so keep that in mind. But overall, like the aesthetic of them is really solid. I really dig on it. And then the same with the build. The build is just, they're light, but also very well made. I really, really dig on the aesthetics and build for these IEMs. It's just a very well made and good looking IEM. Now diving into the cable, this is where it gets a little bit on the kind of wonky side, I guess. The cable it's pretty, it's nice as a silver cable, but the thing with the cable itself is that the cable is a little bit on the plasticky feeling side. Like the actual material is on the coating is real kind of plasticky, and the other thing is it holds its shape quite well. So it's a little bit janky. It's nice that they have a little Velcro tie there, but overall it's a janky, holds its shape. That's what it is. So just take that for what it is. Going into the overall kind of look of everything that's in the package is this right here. So this is kind of what we're looking at. We have all the different tips, the different adapters, the cleaning thing, and what have you. And the thing I want to talk about next is the tips, specifically these, what I think they're calling them the studio and stage, or stage and studio tips, and they're like the cylindrical IEM tip, and they're actually really unique and cool. And I did notice with these tips that they're a little bit on the, not overly squishy. They're actually pretty decently, they hold their space or their size and their shape very well, and they're a little bit tacky, but they actually are really cool. I really dig on them, and I'll dive into what they sound like here in my final thoughts, and then going into the sound of these. But I was really impressed with these little tips. I thought they were kind of cool. Yeah, so with that, let's dive into these IEMs. All right, so diving into my final thoughts with these IEMs. The overall build and aesthetics, I think, is solid. It's a very nicely well made, very nice looking IEM as well. So I dig on that. Like I like the overall feel and look of them. The cable is definitely a little bit on the janky side, but it's and it feels a little plasticky. But outside of that, it's it's a solid cable. Diving into the sound, the overall like I guess sound signature of these, I'd say it leans a little more towards the low end being a little more punchy, and the mids are kind of nice. They're not super elevated or anything like that. And same with the highs. They're all kind of it's all kind of there. Like there's no I didn't really have anything that stood out to me outside of a couple times where like the low end would definitely get a little more punchy. And it wasn't that it was getting boomy or anything like that. It just got real punchy and dynamic. The overall kind of feel of it it's kind of a tough one. Like there's nothing wrong here, but there's nothing that really stood out. Like there's nothing that was like, oh wow, this is amazing, but they're a solid IM. Like so, like if you were to say like these like a B plus, I guess, in like the world of like grading, I guess, like of an IEM, like they're a solid 80, I guess, 80% out of 100 or 85 out of 100. They're not gonna wow too much, I don't think, but they're also not gonna be something that you should be worried about or get upset with. So the other thing with these is that they have a bunch of these different tips, and so they have the candy ones, which have like this kind of cool different colors to them and what have you, and also the cases. This case is dope. I really dig on the case. But they have these candy tips, which have like the kind of different colors inside, like on the stem there, and those are what I was using most recently with the extra large ones. You can kind of see there. But the ones that I thought were really unique and cool were these ones that they're calling, I believe, Sound and Stage, which are that cylindrical ones that I was kind of chatting about and showed there earlier. And I used the largest ones. And I will say that with these ones, the Sound and Stage tips, the cylindrical ones, words, they're easy. That I did get a little bit more stage. It did get a little more, or sorry, it's studio and stage, I think is what those ones are called. But anyways, they are actually, I did notice that it did seem like the stage got a little bit wider and it got a little more neutral, I guess, sounding, and a little more kind of even keeled, less low end punch, but it was still there, but wasn't as elevated, I guess. And the overall highs, mids, and lows were good. They were just really good, but nothing to write home about. The other thing was that I found with the sound and the studio and stage ones was that it seemed like the detail got a little bit better as well, but not much. And then with the candy ones, the candy tips, I felt like the punchiness of the low end got a little more oomph down there, and then also the mid-range just got a little more life to it, I guess. Not that the other ones didn't have life or anything like that, but just got a little bit more elevated. The overall sound of these, I'd say, is just good. Like they're a solid IEM, but I think if you're looking for a solid contender that's not gonna lean any which way or forward or whatnot, then these would be a good one to play with and kind of look at and maybe as an option to grab. And then all the stuff that it comes with. This, like I said, this case is really dope. Dig on it a lot. But outside of that, yeah, I think that's kind of my take on these. They're just kind of they're a solid, good IEM with nothing really standing out and nothing really being a negative with them. And with all IEMs, obviously, that's something to take into account is the tips matter, because that's what's going to cause them to sound good or bad. And a lot of times, if you don't get a good seal, then it's going to change the way that they sound, and also the materials used, and how open it is in the nozzle there. So take that into account, and find an IEM tip that works for you, I guess is the way to put it. Kind of like the room. That's the room, or in a stereo, like a speaker system, the room is the IEM tip, or the pads of a headphone. So yeah, with that, I'll let everyone go, and we'll catch you all on the next one. So cheers. Thanks for checking it out.